Hey you guys, this is Jess with Sourceful Journey back with another video. So, the idea or the notion of intrusive thoughts. Let's talk about it. Intrusive thoughts, that's something that pretty much anyone you can imagine under the sun has experienced in some form or another. Whether it may be a coworker, maybe it might be a family member, or just simply self. We've all been exposed to it in some form or another within our lives. Now, the reality in all of this is that oftentimes the idea with intrusive thoughts, they come when you are in a bit of a dormant state. Now, what I mean by that is that think of a time when your mind was wandering, right? Like, let's just say you were maybe just waking up from a nice time of rest, whether it may have been a nap or just from a full 6+ hours of sleep. Let's say you're just waiting there, you're just laying in bed, just trying to, I guess, get adjusted, if you will. And before you know it, your mind is wandering. Normally, that's when those thoughts start to come into form. I always think of it as that whole notion of like the angel devil, like on one shoulder versus the other. And it's really, I would say, the devil in a lot of ways when you think about the voice that goes behind that whole intrusive thought. So what do I mean by that? Well, let me explain. Think about when you're laying there in bed and you're starting to have these thoughts where you're playing back memories of past incidents that took place that included you. Maybe it was something that someone may have said to you in conversation within a meeting that you felt was a bit offensive. It could have also been a case where someone you may have passed in the public that may have just bumped into you in a bit of a rough manner and they did not apologize. It could have also been a case where maybe, let's say, someone could have said something that what most would view as the nice nasty, and you felt that that was like a bit of a gut punch, but it was something that you did not catch until after the fact. That's why I say it's that whole notion of like the angel devil on the shoulders type deal, because your mind is thinking back to those past events that took place and you're thinking like, wow, I cannot believe I allowed that person to get away with that. And it begins to play on your mind quite a bit on how you want to try to get that person back, or the get back, if you will, right? When in all actuality, it should not matter. It shouldn't. You never know what a person's going through, right? So when you think about that, think about the fact that that person could either be having a bad day, or they could have been very much within their own head about something they're dealing with at that given moment, where they didn't realize that they may have bumped into you a bit aggressively there as they passed you on the sidewalk. Or maybe they were not intending on offending you in terms of their response. They weren't trying to be nice, nasty in terms of their response. Maybe they don't know how to convey the message in such a way where it's not so harsh. So there's a lot of factors that need to be taken into consideration before jumping to conclusions about things like that. And in doing so, this can make your entire day a lot better. With that being said, I would just say when it comes to playing back those past events, when you're going into that mode of allowing your mind to wander into those intrusive thoughts about what you would have done differently if you had the opportunity to revisit that experience again. Choose wisely, but at the same time have grace. Give that individual or those group of individuals grace. Because it happens. We can sometimes misconstrue a person's intentions and think it's one way when it may not be that. Now, the same can be said, like let's say for instance, they were to do it again and again and again as an example. Like let's say it's a coworker who has a way of doing things. It's just something that's a bit of a habit for them. Maybe in that particular case, if they are to continue doing that one thing that is not right, maybe it takes you being the one to take the initiative to pull them to the side and have that conversation with them. But do so in a way where it's not having you to look like the bad guy. I'm sure they can appreciate it, but at the same time, you'll feel good about it as well before you leave the location And at the end of the day, this can help them to be able to grow into a better person.